Okay, thank you very much for being here today, everyone. We are at the Stage Capella. NapulETH 2025 has been just started. We will have 3 days of event full of energy, full of networking, full of Napoletan food. I hope you enjoy it. We will start right now with Giuliano Neroni. He is the founder of Growa, blockchain and AI developer, winner of the contest such as ECP Accelerator in Lugano. His talk is how IoT, Internet of Things, AI pre-processing and blockchain oracles can work together to create transparent data-driven systems. So let's make a round of applause to Giuliano and wish you the best.
Hi guys, nice to meet you. I'm Giuliano Neroni, CTO and founder of Growa Services and Consultancy. We are a Qatari company under the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology in Qatar. I'm happy to be here in Napoli at NapulETH to talk about the synchronized trinity, how the blockchain, AI, and IoT could work together to be applied in a real-world application. First of all, I want to start from a problem. Never like now, we have so much technology applied, and the majority of the time, this technology have such a problem. The 73% of integrated tech solution fail because the majority of the time they are not built together. The problem is that we keep building separate tools and platforms that communicate. So blockchain operates in a silo, AI in another one, and the IoT in a third one. So that make that the client, the one that have to use the platform, will instead of find a solution, will find only problems. So imagine 3 different assistants that have to work on something that then at the end of the day doesn't work because someone do something, the other one do another thing, and at the end they will not work together. So the clients end up with a lot of apps, a lot of interface, a lot of data. We have data everywhere, but at the end we find something that doesn't work. But when blockchain, when AI, and when IoT, we start working together, in this time the result will be exponential. Because the difference that they could act is that they could learn, could adapt, and could be optimized continuously. We have the IoT devices that for us are the hands, are the ears, are the eyes, because it's the one that let us to gathering data, let us to distribute the sensor everywhere. It is the one that the most important thing that permit to process automation. But how we could process the automation? This is something that we do with the AI. The AI is our brain. The AI is the one that allow us to do data analysis, is the one that allow us to understand pattern, is the one that continues to learn. But the most important thing is the blockchain, especially when you build something that have to work with institutional partner, because the blockchain is the one that allow you to have data integrity, that is the one that allow you to have trustless automation, is the one that allow you to follow the compliance. For someone it's more important, for someone less, is also the one that give you the decentralized security. IoT devices are the smart object that react instantly when something happens. Is the one that understand how, for example, in our case, how the state of the greenhouses, the state of the weather, and all kind of things, and then based on that is something that could act. But AI is the cognitive center. We have to think something. There is a huge difference between our brain and the AI system. Both of them work exactly on the experience, because the AI, you will give them the data set and they will start to learn based on that. Our brain works in the same way, but The difference is in the subjective. Our brain is subjective. The AI not. AI, when finding something, when recognize a pattern, we always follow the same solution. It is the one that understands when something happens, if it is wrong, based on the supervision training, we start to say how to act differently. One of the biggest problems is that the majority of the time, the data are not clean. The raw data are very noisy and fragmented. This is where the AI helps us to understand how manage this kind of data. For example, in our system, in our architecture, we have 4 different kind of layers. The first layer is the one that allows us to do data validation and anomaly detection. It's the one that allows us to clean the data and to bring the data to the second layer. The second layer is when we are going to find a pattern. A pattern is when with our neural network we understand if there is something that is similar to a situation that the AI knows. And after this step was done, there is the third layer. It's the one that applies the output of the data to the predictive modeling. And it's the one that let us understand what is the decision to take and optimize the decision. But the most important layer is the first one. It's the one that, based on the confidence scoring, decide to act or not, because it's the one that let us to understand what is happening around, and so understand if this decision had to take or not. AI doesn't just process data, it creates value with these 4 things: predicting problems, optimizing resource allocation, learning from failures, and discovering in-depth patterns. But at the end of the day, the blockchain is the most important thing, because it's the one that let us work with the data that are trusted, verified, and recorded. And this is very important, especially if you work with an institutional partner. But what is the problem of the blockchain? The majority of the time, the blockchain are too slow and very expensive to be applied to a real-world application. You have to think that when you have an application for an industrial partner, you have thousands of microtransactions per hour. And this is something very expensive, and also the speed is very important. When someone say that numbers are not important, trust me guys, numbers are very important. Let me say that a traditional blockchain usually for a transaction need 3 minutes, and also the gas cost, also if you think that is very low, based on a huge amount of transaction, we are talking about a huge amount of money. For example, we found our partner in ICP. I don't know how much of you know the Internet Computer Protocol blockchain, but it's the one that let us let us find a solution that could be applied in a real-world application. I don't know how much you know about ICP, but they have a kind of application that give us a high-speed computational platform. I like to say that it's like an evolution from the dial-up to the fiber optic. I don't know how many of you have the age that know how the dial-up works, but this is exactly the same kind of evolution. The workflow is very easy. IoT sensor detect, change, AI processes instantly, and the blockchain executes. And this is something that happens in seconds, not in hours. Let me do an example based on our real case. Our company work in the agricultural sector, in the ESG sector, and also in automation based on data in this sector. For example, if we have a detection from IoT devices in a greenhouse that understand that the level of volumetric content, that electric conductivity at this time of the day, with this kind of evapotranspiration going very low, the AI start to decide, the data will go directly to the AI. There will be an inference on that. Based on this kind of inference, well, this data will pass to a matricial operation. This matricial operation understand what is happening and talk directly with the blockchain and give the information to the blockchain. And then the blockchain save the information, give the information back to the AI that decide to execute the operation if there is an operation to execute. Otherwise, it will not do anything and only record the data. This is something that could be, you could think that this is take a lot of time, but it's something that will take around 45 seconds. We have to think to this kind of ICP canister that I advise any developer to try to use and to apply to this kind of application because it's something that could change your way to apply the Web3 world to a real world case case. And this is something that let us to build a smart software agents. What I want to say with that is something that gives us a layer capability, memory persistence, inter-canister communication, and real-time processing. Each canister remember every action, whatever happened, and then also thanks to the outcall that could do outside is something that let us to predict what could happen next. And it's something that all will be recorded. It's something that happened instantly. It is something that let us to create a neural network that not only will be managed in a private structure, but it's something that let us to create an oracle based on that. We have three kinds of oracle based on that. An IoT data oracle, that is the one that permit to work with the data, validates and validate and timestamp the sensor data. There is the AI processing oracle, that is the one that executes the machine learning algorithm, is the one that between the call in input and output let us to bring data and take data from outside. And there is the satellite oracle. This one is the one that integrates external data, but after they will be clean, they will be a traceable data. And this is something that all running natively on blockchain. So, what is the problem that is solved? On-chain oracle eliminates trust gap and single points of failure. But now I want to talk with the I don't know how many developers will be there. When we build something, we have to start to build something with a user-oriented vision. We are used to build something not with thinking to the needs of the clients, but we build something the majority of the time think with our brain. This is the common mistake, because at the end of the day, who need to use that architecture is the client. And so the majority of the time we are building something that for them is very difficult to use. It's something that will be very difficult to use, and but the user need to have something that have a very huge complexity underline, but for them will be very easy to use. I want to, this is an architecture that could be used everywhere in a sector where you need a real-time decision. Could be applied to manufacturing, to optimization, energy, and management. And I want to close with a small phrase. Our challenge is to make the complex simple and the impossible possible. Thank you, guys. And if you have any question, I will be there to reply.